the social distancing queen on the corner of her bed in her room, but she's freaking out a little bit because I've already done several takes of the podcasts. And the cats are freaking out a bit. A friend told me that with cats and human children, you only get one take. And I wasn't happy with the takes I was getting, so I've done several podcasts and they're all freaked out. Notice how she refuses to look at the camera. Now let's go and see if we can find the Mayhem Twins. I don't even know if I can get one to wriggle on my lap because they're a bit freaked out with all of this. Okay, let's go get the Mayhem Twins. We'll leave you alone, social distancing queen. Mayhem Twins are both hiding under the bed. They've learned this trick from their older sister. And they're kind of freaked out now because they've done several takes and I've had each of them in turns wriggling on my lap for the start of the podcast. And now they're saying we've had enough. We don't want anything more to do with this. We don't like podcatting. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that. So they're not podcatters. They just want to hide under the bed. So I'll get them in the next podcast for the wriggling portion. So for now, we're just going to resume a regular podcast. It really wouldn't have been a podcast without a wriggling cat portion. So I had to grab Finn from under the bed, and he's wriggling. He's gotten a lot bigger and stronger now, but he's wriggled off. Go do your stuff. Go. You got important things to do. You can't podcat with your dad. Hello, everybody. It's me, the Nutty Professor. I'm back. Now, there's been a hiatus of about a month because my previous, and after all that fuss, it was right here. But anyway, there's been a hiatus of about a month because my previous laptop crashed during the pandemic, and I was going to wait until after lockdown and try to get it fixed. Geek Squad, it's out of warranty at Best Buy, or get a new one and have them set it all up for me and do all of that. But I decided I don't want to wait that long, and I do know how to do online ordering and curbside pickup because I've done it with cat food and cat treats from PetSmart for a while now. We've been in curbside pickup here in Ontario, so I've been doing that, and I know how to order. And I go there and I go, I'm in the white mini, and they bring it out. So I tried it with the computer. I found one that it's working for me. So this is the first podcast on this new laptop, and I managed to mostly set it up myself. But my cousins kind of helped me fine tune it a little bit. For the most part, I set it up myself. So we're back in business. However, today we went through several attempted podcasts, got out of the practice, and the phone rang a couple of times, which I hadn't turned off, and the mini's leaking oil, and I'm trying to get that fixed, and I'm talking to the mechanic and all of that. But and I can't do another podcast now because today because the kids are really freaked out over this. They're not going to let me take any more footage, and unfortunately, I don't know how to edit, so I can't edit in the stuff from before. So this is whether we like it or not, this is a podcast. Now, the news is, it's been 5-6 weeks, I think, since the last podcast. All is well. I am still clear. 5.5 months completely clear. Now, cravings for the first 3 or 4 weeks after the last podcast, they went down a bit, and last few days they've been going up a bit, and there were some triggers which I won't go into detail here, but everything is still under control. Pushes still stronger than the pull, and that's the important thing. Now, the other news here is that for the last 8 days or so, 9 days, I have also been bubbling with family, my cousin and her grown children who live nearby, and I hadn't seen them in some months, but about 10 days ago I started seeing them again, and I helped them look for a car, and there were some errands, and I went over to their new place a couple of times, and we got takeout, and I'm allowed to bubble because I live alone. not counting the cats, because they're not considered as humans. But so I'm allowed to bubble. So I've been bubbling, and it's gone okay. I mean, almost every day last week I saw them, and I saw them day before yesterday as well. And then I got a little humaned out, okay, or humaned out. For some reason, when people talk about cats or they write about cats or from a cat's perspective online, they go human. And my thing is, if a cat could write and could speak English, they would probably also know how to spell. But I've been talking with my friends about how I've been a bit humaned out and a bit peopled out lately, and my cat people friends have been agreeing, and someone even sent me a cartoon from the New Yorker about this, people, social reentry and all of that stuff. And I was a bit of a hermit to begin with, so the whole, but it's okay. I did not tell anyone to f off, and last couple of days I've just been at home with the kids, and everything's been fine, so we're taking a little break anyway, and I think kind of a natural hiatus from human relatives. Those are the only human relatives I have any contact with anyway, except for my parents who are not in the country. But it was good. Now, some issues have come up, and one of them is that whole, peopling thing, and humans, and isolation, all of that. And there's a TikTok video, and I've been watching some TikToks. My former student podcaster recommended them for me, and I've been watching some TikToks. And there's a TikTok video which was also sent to me by my cat coordinator friend, sent by another one of her volunteers. And I've been watching some TikTok videos. There is one that is only 9 seconds long, and I noticed a trend on TikTok that people will reproduce or recreate, videos. And at first I was like going, it's not quite the same thing as, remaking a movie, or, a reproduction of a famous painting. I mean, it's a TikTok video. And there's one with, a guy sitting at the table drinking coffee, and his wife goes, honey, if I was fat, would you still love me? And he goes, of course, honey. And the kid from the background goes, but mom, you are fat. And the guy spits out his coffee. I've seen about 10 remakes of that. People, in homage, they reproduce that with, different people, and they've done, and there are several, and there's one with kittens, and the kittens going, and the kittens are talking, and they go, we're influencers, and, people have reproduced that. And I was like going, they're TikTok videos. They're not, Fellini films. But, having said that, I think I may end up reproducing that one myself on TikTok. I'll have to arrange it with my producer, former student. But I don't know. The whole thing with TikTok is they're a minute, 2 minutes maximum. I have a lot of trouble keeping my podcast under 15 minutes. So, but I might recreate that one. And it's only 9 seconds. There's this woman. She's a cat rescuer, and she doesn't even say that. That's that's kind of implicit. And with feral cats, or feral cats, I think as some people pronounce it. But with feral cats, people, rescuers will trap them, get them fixed, and if they can be rehomed, they will. But remember Papaya, and the wall cat, they had been feral cats, and they ended up eventually getting, domesticated and integrated into families. But sometimes it doesn't happen, and they have to be, they go back out, and they have colonies, so they're fed. So that's that's the whole thing with feral cats, and it's how feral a cat is, and there's this woman, and I'm going to try to reproduce it here, and I may try to do it in TikTok as well. Now, it's going to be hard for me because she does it really deadpan. And for me, I mean, I end up inflecting and pausing and doing, and she does it so well, only 9 seconds. So now I have a lot more respect for the really, really short videos, because I don't think I can do them, but so this is my my homage, and I'm going to call it the 97.3% Feral Woman's podcast or TikTok. And this is my version of it. And she goes, very seriously, she goes, at this point in quarantine, I am 97.3% feral, and I will not be able to reintegrate into society. That's all. And that's it. Again, I added more inflection than she does, and she does it so deadpan. And all my cat people friends have been going, we relate to that. And with me, I don't think I was going to be able to reintegrate into society even before quarantine. I was not, So after quarantine, there's no question. And like I said, I mean, I'm fond of that branch of the family that I've been bubbling with. But that 1 week, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to get up to my cats, and I need to feline again. Speaking in English and in human language is getting to be a bit much, and the banter, and I'm like, Nutty Professor doesn't do banter anymore. I talk to cats. So that's been the whole thing. Another news item. It was the babies, the twins, the Mayhem Twins, first birthday last week, and I got some stuff from Dollarama. That's another thing. I've been curbside ordering from PetSmart, but Dollarama at first in lockdown. Pet toys were not considered essential. Treats were, but toys weren't. However, later on in lockdown, and it might vary from store to store, but I went to a store and they had toys available. So I bought some cat beds and some toys and some treats from there and some treats online from, PetSmart. So the babies are now 1 year old. So there's going to be several parts to this. I'm going to talk more about the whole being clear, as I said, over 15 and a half months. And I will talk more about the cravings, and we'll talk more about this whole thing with essential, non-essential, and the humaning out and all of that stuff. We'll come back to it in the next podcast. So, from the Nutty Professor, in Zoom videos, people, I've noticed this a few times with my doctor and some other people, and they'll go like this, and they'll say hi, and then they'll go bye, and I'm like, hey, but as a Nutty Professor, we'll do a Nutty Professor wave. So bye for now.